For 1 hour.
Thank you, sir. For the purpose of debate only, I yield the customary 30 minutes to the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Hastings, pending which I yield myself such time as I may consume. During consideration of this resolution, all time yielded is for the purpose of debate only. Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks.
Without objection.
House Resolution 488 provides for a closed rule for consideration of H.R. 674, a bill to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to repeal the imposition of the 3% withholding on certain payments made to vendors by government entities, and H.R. 2576 to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to modify the calculation of modified adjusted gross income for purposes of determining eligibility for certain healthcare-related programs. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of this rule and the underlying bills. We have here something very simple, a bill to save jobs in America, and a way to pay for it through a simple technical fix in the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act that is supported by the President and many Democrats in this chamber. H.R. 674, or what I will call the Saving American Jobs Act, would repeal the 3% withholding requirement on government payments to businesses both large and small. This is truly a bipartisan bill with more than 60 Democrats among the 269 co-sponsors. Even the President supports changing the withholding tax. The tax is a job killer, plain and simple. Beginning January 1st, 2013, government agencies at all levels, federal, state, and local, will have to withhold 3% of the payments to businesses for goods and services. For many small businesses, this has the potential to completely wipe out their profit margin. At a time when we have a desperate need to create jobs and to create the environment for job creation, the withholding tax does the exact opposite. And for many state and local governments, the implementation costs will be huge at a time when their budgets are already stretched thin. For example, in my home state of South Carolina, the state comptroller estimates the implementation costs associated with this tax will take up 11.5% of their budget. This tax punishes all businesses for the sins of a few, automatically and wrongly assuming all job creators who do business with the federal government are somehow evading full taxation. Last I checked, we should be encouraging people to follow the law, not penalizing them for doing so. The tax also treats all businesses the same regardless of their taxable income. In the construction industry, for example, where unemployment is currently at 13.5%. Companies rarely have a pre-tax profit margin of more than 3%. Therefore, a 3% withholding tax would completely wipe out their profit margin. As a former small business owner myself, I can assure you this is not the kind of math that leads to job creation. This tax will also harm local governments already hurting for dollars by placing on them another unfunded mandate to collect a federal tax. Again, as former chairman of Charleston County Council, this is more math that just doesn't add up. With unemployment still at 9%, our job creators need capital to invest and long-term certainty in the tax code. Taking hard-earned dollars away from our job creators will only lead to higher prices, lower wages, and lost jobs. Once again, Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of this rule and the underlying legislation. I encourage my colleagues to vote yes on the rule and yes on the underlying bills, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves the balance of his time.